the way the Colts handled Peyton Manning leaving Indianapolis, I mean, Peyton he brought football to Indianapolis. He built that Lucas Oil Stadium, and the Colts kind of just shipped him off. They kind of just said, "Hey, man, you're going through a rough time. We don't want to deal with it. We're just going to send you off. We're just going to, say, hey, we're just going to cut ties and goodbye. Not really even giving you, a chance to come back and do something. No, and now, Peyton, it always seemed like he's always in Denver. He's always cheery and happy in Denver. Seems like he only comes to Indianapolis to support former teammates in the Ring of Honor. Now, don't get me wrong, he probably still loves Indianapolis. He still likes Indianapolis, but the way Jim Irsay, the way the Colts treated him on the way out, kicking him out the door when he was at his low, when he was injured, not giving him a chance to come back and make his comeback. Instead, they kicked him out the door and they brought a new guy in the building. And turns out that Mr. Andrew Luck didn't turn out to be so lucky. In fact, it kind of seems like it's been the opposite. It's kind of been like a curse placed on the franchise. Shooter, you originally brought this up and wanted to continue in this topic. Why don't you give your side of it?
I think you can see that Peyton kind of keeps the franchise part of the Colts at an arm's distance. I think he still loves the former players. I think he still loves the fans and the city. But I think when it comes to the front office people, I think he keeps that at a distance, and for good reasons. I do think that you see him come back and he'll be at the Ring of Honor ceremonies. But a lot of times when you see him smiling, having a good time, like you said, it'll be on the Denver sideline. Is it karma or is it a curse? The Colts have had a pretty hard time landing a quarterback ever since he left. And sometimes in life, when you take the new shiny thing over the proven thing that you've had around for a while, sometimes you lose in life. And I think that's happened for the Colts. I think the whole Peyton Manning saga has kind of bit them in the butt. And it's kind of hard to think about him being in Denver and winning that other Super Bowl, and then we picked Andrew Luck and he ends up quitting football. So I like Andrew Luck a lot. I respect him. I think he's a smart guy. He studied architecture like I did in school. But as far as Peyton Manning goes, that part of it, I think we just kind of had some bad karma there, and it's stuck with the franchise, and we have not been able to fill that holes in that void since. And it's going to be hard. I mean, you're not going to get another Peyton Manning, real easily, and we had a chance with Luck there and it didn't work out. Like you said, the luck ran out.
Yeah, unfortunately. And the worst way possible. I mean, that year when Andrew Luck retired 2 weeks before the season, we were talked about as one of the best teams in football. The year prior, the first year Andrew Luck came back, he threw 40 touchdowns. The Colts started 1-5. I don't know if you remember this, but I was actually at the game when Andrew Luck was subbed out for Jacoby Brissett versus the Eagles to throw a Hail Mary because his arm was still like a wet noodle coming back from shoulder surgery. Yeah. And Andrew Luck, the same season back from that shoulder surgery, 40 touchdowns, brought the Colts to the playoffs, won a playoff game. And what did it take to stop him? The MVP, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. And look at them now. Look at those guys. But it just goes to show, the grass isn't always greener.
I think if Andrew would have continued to play, then one of those Super Bowls that the Chiefs won probably would have been his. But we'll never know now.
Unfortunately, that's only something that we could dream of. That we could have hoped for. And it sucks. But I guess what goes around comes around, right?
It does. It does in the football world and in life as well.
Yeah. And Andrew Luck was awesome. He was great himself. And, it's a business decision, yeah. But Peyton Manning was one of the best of all time. Look at how much he did for your franchise, for your city. He put the Colts on the map. He put the Colts on the football map. Who were the Colts before Peyton Manning? Right? Johnny Unitas. That was right when the Colts really when football really took off, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yep.
kind of he built Lucas Oil Stadium. That what is it, 86th Street? He built Lucas Oil Stadium over there, and now it seems like they're gonna have a hard time filling season tickets. They're gonna have a hard time filling the seats, and that seems like it's finally making like what do you say like it's a full circle is that what you say, full round,
Yep.
full circle. It's a full circle effect.
Yep. And when I talked about Archie Manning too, one of
Yeah,
the ideas about that, think back to Eli when he was coming into the draft, and the San Diego Chargers were going to draft him, and their family basically told the Chargers, no, he's, if you draft him, he's not going to play for you. So they end up doing a deal with the Giants, and he ended up going to the Giants. And I'm not saying it would happen. Who knows? But there's a possibility that they do the same thing with the Colts if the Colts were there to take him. So I just point that out for all the people getting excited about Arch Manning. But we'll see.
yeah. Wouldn't blame him either. Wouldn't blame
No,
him.
no. I mean, depending on the situation. I mean, maybe the team turns around and they start to get their act together a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think the front office for the Colts is just a question mark right now. You wonder, you know, Jim Irsay, like how much influence he's got right now. What are the daughters doing? Or are they taking things over? How much influence they have? It's Chris Ballard. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? So there's a lot of like uncertainty and um, those kind of things going on with the Colts front office. But hopefully they get it figured out. Yeah, I don't think Chris Ballard's a bad person. Nobody does. We all hope that he figures it out, but it doesn't look very promising at the moment. So he's got probably one more year, you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. Unless Jim Irsay just says, "Hey, run it back again." Another say we win another 8-9 games. Like, oh, we're so close. We're right there. Give him 1 year. Give him one more year. Okay, whatever. But
Yeah.
hopefully that's not the case.
So who are you wanting at quarterback at the moment?
Quarterback. I really like when you brought up Justin Fields. I like the idea of Justin Fields, like you were saying. He's also not a complete shift of kind of a player of Anthony Richardson is. Like, say Anthony Richardson goes down, both are competing for the spot, or if Anthony Richardson goes down, you have a player that's similar. You have a player that can complete a decent amount of his passes, and Shane Steichen knows how to work with these guys as well. He knows how to work with mobile quarterbacks, like what he did with Jalen Hurts. He knows what he's doing. So I think Justin Fields would be a fun option. I like Dylan Gabriel. I hope the Colts will look into him. I like his confidence. Dylan Gabriel has gotten better every single year. He was in a rough patch there in Auburn for a little while. Didn't play good in Auburn. Kind of, said, okay, not playing well here. Put my head down. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to Oregon. And lo and behold, he's gotten better every single year. And I like a player like that who has been through adversity, who has gotten better every single year, who has a confidence, who wants, to come to the NFL. And he has some really good traits. I really like Dylan Gabriel. I like someone who's been through adversity. Maybe free agency wise, I've thought of like Jameis Winston. I've brought him up a couple of times. I wouldn't mind him to at least compete, but that also like kind of goes against the point of bringing a quarterback in that's similar to Anthony Richardson. I mean, Winston can move, but he's definitely not, the runner that Anthony Richardson or Justin Fields is. That would be a little bit of a shock to the offense. But
Yeah, he's more of a gunslinger.
right, so he's a little bit different. I mean, free agent quarterbacks, they're free agent quarterbacks for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, they're good backups. They're not really, if they were good, they wouldn't be there. But the draft wise, like I've brought up Dylan Gabriel, Curtis Rourke, the Indiana native. Why not see what he's got? It seems like he's been through a lot of adversity. I think he played one full season with a torn ACL or something, which was absolutely absurd. And he still played really well. I'm not sure if this was this year or the year prior. I'm not sure, but I know that he played a full season.
Yeah, Rourke can throw the back shoulder perfectly.
Yeah.
He's real good at that.
So I think
That's an NFL throw for sure.
Rourke can be a guy. Yeah, I mean, Will Howard, we'll see. You know, I want to watch some film on him. We'll see as I start watching more film. But those are some names I'm throwing out there. Like number one, Fields. Um, I think Fields can not only come in and win the starting job right away. I think he would be the future. But will he leave Pittsburgh? I don't know. He might stay in Pittsburgh. So my second choice would be is go to the draft. Okay, let's not go to free agency again. Let's not go to Sam Darnold. I don't want Sam Darnold. Do not want Sam Darnold. Like, we saw how the season ended. Sam Darnold, it's just no, please. I think it's a trap. He had a really good season with the Vikings. Did throw a lot of touchdowns. Was incredible, but something just doesn't feel right with Sam Darnold. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I mean,
Yes.
at this point in Chris Bauer's tenure, he cannot afford to take a crazy swing like that. Sam Darnold was in a really good situation. Yeah, I mean, he had Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones. Offensive line was incredible. Great play caller. Really good defense. I mean, he had about as perfect as a situation as you can get. Um, can he improve on that? Can he evolve his game? I don't think he can really evolve his game as teams. The film comes out on how he's playing well. I think teams are going to change how they're playing against. I mean, they did towards the second half of the season. I mean, if it felt like teams were. I mean, the Vikings were playing some pretty bad teams towards at one point in the season. They were struggling. That offense was struggling versus the Colts. They struggled. We know how bad the Colts defense was. They struggled versus the Jaguars. There were a couple of teams in there where they just struggle against. And when you have a quarterback like Sam Darnold, who should be, as good as the numbers are, I mean, those games shouldn't be that close. The offense shouldn't be struggling like that.
He's not really worth the money.
Yes.
You can get Fields for a lot cheaper, and the ceiling is about the same.
Exactly. And
then Fields also matches the young quarterback that you already have. And he brings in real competition. Like, he's good enough, he might beat Anthony Richardson out. So, I like the Fields idea. I'm not big on Sam Darnold at all. Like, if the Colts bring him in, I'm not going to be happy about that whatsoever, because I just see it as like he's going to be really expensive. And then if he don't live up to the hype, you just bought yourself an expensive
backup.
Yeah.
Expensive backup. What, a $40 million a year backup?
Be nice about it.
Yeah.
After that, I've heard the name, was it Jackson Dart from Ole Miss?
Yeah. I've heard some good things about him.
Yeah, he's one to check out, keep an eye on. Will Howard, I think, is somebody to keep an eye on. Now, I think if you're going to go for Will Howard, then maybe the AR experiment might be over. I don't know, but I don't know. You could probably draft him, but if he beats AR out, then you have to change your team.
Yeah,
he's not.
You have to change a lot. The way you call plays, all that. Yeah, that's a big shock. That's a big change. Big change to make.
Which may be fine. That might work. I mean, if you got a good quarterback, that's the most important thing.
That's right.
That'll make anything go. It's almost like we were talking about the Gus Bradley defense. He gets a bunch of all-stars, and then his defense is good.
Yeah, let's
get the right quarterback. Any offense is good.
Exactly. Let's look at when the Ravens, they had Joe Flacco. They went to Lamar Jackson in the middle of the season, and how did that work out for them? You have that kind of a quarterback. You have that kind of a quarterback, and you'll know it. But yeah, how about I know you said you like Justin Fields, and those Jackson Dart is a guy. We'll see, man. There are options out there. If I were to sit here and tell you the right one, I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. I think Rourke was a good idea, especially if you get him late. Like, if you can pick him up in the later rounds with an extra pick or something. You know how Ballard trades back and does all that stuff. Well, if you pick up an extra pick somewhere, use it maybe on a guy like that, maybe a year or two down the road, he can step in and give it a try.
Yeah.
You know that he can at least make one NFL throw really well.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, you'd have to do the medical on the knee and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on there, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Big time. So is that all we got?